Hi guys. It was my birthday a few days ago, so happy birthday to me. Try to move this. So today I wanted to talk about narcissism, and I got a comment under one of my videos to cover healing after you have a relationship with a narcissist, and I was so happy somebody requested something to cover, so I will be covering that later on, but I thought it would be great to first start with identifying a narcissist and also covering misconceptions that we might sometimes have in our heads, preconceived notions about narcissists. So that is what this video is going to be. So first I want to say that narcissistic personality disorder requires a medical diagnosis. Symptoms include an excessive need for admiration, I have my notes right here, disregard for others' feelings, an inability to handle any criticism, and a sense of entitlement. So we will be discussing people who display narcissistic traits, but I am not saying that you should be diagnosing people or making assumptions about their mental health. This is just to do with traits that can align with that personality disorder. The first misconception about narcissists is that they are never kind. When really, in order to maintain their self-image, both to themselves and to the public, or to the people that they're trying to impress, doing kind things occasionally can actually help them in their goals, their narcissistic goals. So the idea that, narcissists are always rude and cruel to other people, and very outwardly selfish, because internally, oh yes, it's all selfish. Everything they do is an exchange. They don't do something kind to do something kind. In their brain, it is an exchange. Whether that is to reassure themselves that they have a heart of gold and that they're this perfect person, or to gain some kind of likability in the eyes of those that they want to garner that from. So long as the kind act in no way impacts the narcissist negatively or demands that they give up something they want or have that they value, they will gladly do something kind from time to time to appear charitable and likable. So this actually being kind doesn't go against the motives of someone with narcissistic traits. It actually really aligns with them. So I think that's something I've noticed people might have a misconception about. They think, this person can't be a narcissist. They donated to this project, or they did this one nice thing for me. And ultimately, those are small things. They're not risking much by doing those things. They're not losing much by doing those things in certain situations, but they are gaining something in return. So it's the bigger things that you need to watch out for, like how they treat you, how they treat others in the long term. That is what ultimately can show those signs. And the second misconception about narcissists, this is the biggest one, there's 3 here, is that narcissists are always confident in social situations. We have this idea that perhaps has been perpetuated by fictional characters who seem narcissistic, or just our own idea in society of, a narcissist is somebody who's so confident in themselves, they think they're better than everybody, which is true in all cases, I think, to some degree, but they easily just, mingle with society, with all different types of people because they're super confident, right? No. So narcissists can be extroverts or introverts. They go about seeking attention a bit differently, though. You'll find that extroverted narcissists are more likely to jump from one person to another for validation in friendships and in dating. They're very cold, and it's kind of like they're not calculated enough. They don't care enough about the aftermath. They're not thinking at all. They're just thinking about the admiration they want, and that they will just kind of, in the moment, propel themselves into situations to get it. Whereas introverted narcissists, I feel, they do have more of an agenda when they rarely befriend somebody or date somebody. They want to get the sympathy card. They need it because they don't really have the social skills to gain that notoriety or likability solely based on their personality in the short term. So instead, they want to be thought of as this do-gooder and this really sympathetic person, because every story they tell it will always be that they were the victim. And that's genuinely how they see it. And they think of their lack of social status or people around them as the result of those other people everywhere in the world not being as great as they are, not being as understanding or as kind, and they're just such a kind, fragile person, and everybody else is just, got to keep them at arm's length. At least they'll make you feel that way when you're around them, so that then everything that happens, if something bad occurs in your friendship or dating situation, it will always be your fault. And they kind of plant that early on. It's like, people who leave me in these friendships or in dating, they're just awful people. I don't let people into my life very often. So they set this precedent that you need to live up to this expectation they have, that everything will always be about them and how they're feeling, so that they don't get screwed over again. But it has nothing to do with your feelings or how they treat you. And misconception number 3 is that you can reason with them. You cannot reason with a narcissist because their ego is like their ruler, and they will never challenge their ruler. To them, the truth is an obstacle, not an objective. I've thought a lot about my interactions with narcissists, and being that I'm very analytical, I think, what could I have said or done to defuse that bomb? I think a lot of people probably look back and wonder, is there any way I could have gone about the conversation that caused them to blow up, or the even just long-term behavior that they displayed towards you? Is there anything I could have done to make that interaction, or at least the end of that interaction, be kind or mature or humane? And my verdict for that is that you cannot reason with those who will not challenge themselves. It's kind of like they're the car, and those that they favor, those that they want the attention from, are the fuel, the means to the goal, to that destination that they want to get to. And that goal is to gratify themselves. And although they won't see it this way, they're empty. By definition, they need that brightness, that fuel, that vivacious, pure energy from others as like a torch to light the way through their dark reality. And though they probably won't see it that way, and they'll always think like, I was right in all those situations, I am never to blame, I am a saint. That's the truth. The truth is, they're extremely, endlessly empty. And because the majority of narcissists never think that they are capable of being wrong, needing help, they probably won't get that help. So they'll always think that. So the kind of closure for that situation wouldn't be that they'll, realize that they did wrong, or that they'll be miserable and think that they really fucked up their life. That's probably not what's going to happen. But I think that the closure for you is to understand that those very qualities that they saw in you that attracted them to you, whether as a friend or as somebody you dated, those are the same reasons why it was never going to work out. Because although they might initially see the value in your kindness or your, physical attractiveness or intelligence, humanity, compassion, creativity, although they might see the value of adding you to their life initially, your very existence challenges them because they don't have a genuine bone in their body. They aren't capable of seeing things the way that you do, of loving things the way that you do, or people. And although they don't see you as better than them, because of course nobody's better than them, they aren't capable of so many of the things that made them attracted to you. And so it was doomed to end because their insecurity is going to come out, but they're not going to display it as insecurity, but anything else besides insecurity. You didn't make them insecure about themselves. It's definitely something else. So yeah, if there's any kind of consolation or closure in that, I believe with all my heart that that is the truth. So it really doesn't have much to do with you. You had qualities that they found desirable, and those very same qualities are going to end up destroying the relationship, because after a while, appreciation or seeing what you bring to the table as valuable turns to bitterness, turns to envy, turns to resentment, and turns to you calling them out or challenging them to expand in some way that they're just not capable of expanding. So yeah, I don't really have an ending for this video, but I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. If you want to subscribe or like this video, I would appreciate it, and I hope you have an amazing day.